Hallelujah. For this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Glad in it because he's faithful. Glad in this day because he is still awesome. He is still worthy. No matter what's happening right now, we serve a God that is still faithful. He's still holy. He's still our provider. He's still our waymaker. He's still our healer. He's still our peace. He's still our joy. Hallelujah. We come to lift up the name of Jesus, the name above every name. Hallelujah. I call you holy. Your name is holy. You are so holy to me. I call you holy. Your name is holy. Holy you are, and holy you'll be. Hallelujah. We love your name, Jesus. Oh, I call you holy. I call you holy. Your name is holy. You are so holy to me. I call you holy. Your name is holy. Holy you are.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're delighted to have you with us tonight here at Glad Tidings and at our midweek recharge. And it's a joy always to meet with you and on Tuesday evenings. And we look forward to these few moments that we share together every week. And I pray that you're blessed in our time and with our guests that are with us tonight and on the subject that we're going to share. So God bless everybody. Get ready to go. If you want to call or send a link to a friend or set up something for them to watch as well, that'll be just great as we talk about COVID-19 and where we are with the vaccination and all that's going on with this, the wear a mask, don't wear a mask. A lot of questions tonight, and hopefully we'll get some answers. We have some wonderful guests with us this evening, and I'll introduce you to them in just a moment. But first of all, let's just take a moment to pray. You know, in the middle of the week, it's always a great time to just pause for a moment, catch your breath, talk to the Lord, allow God to talk to you, and just to kind of reset for the rest of the week. And so we want to do that right now. Dear God, we love you tonight, and we thank you for this time, for these moments that we share together, for our brothers and sisters, wherever they might be, those that are with us here in the Bay Area, those outside of the Bay Area, United States, and even those who are around the world that share with us tonight. We thank you for our time together. Thank you, God, that you've allowed us to yet be able to communicate and to share together. And we ask now that you would crown our heads with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Allow us, God, to put a real grasp on what's going on and what we can do to make a difference. And if you do that, we'll give you praise and glory and honor. In your name we pray, thank God, and amen. Well, may the Lord bless you tonight. It is just a real joy to have you join us on tonight, and I praise God for every one of you that is with us on this evening. And in just a moment, we're going to add, I think, a couple of more guests will be added into our Zoom here, and we'll be glad to add them as well. And we'll be blessed by that. Tonight, we come to talk a little bit about where we are. It's been a little while since we've been on in this kind of a format, a panel with different viewpoints and ideas and insights. And so tonight, we're grateful and thankful for this opportunity. COVID-19 has been going for a while now, and over a year, 14, 15 months that many of us have been out of our churches. Many of us have been home, others have not been able to move around, and it's been very difficult. But we're starting to see a little light at the end of the tunnel. We're starting to see a little light here. And so it's interesting now that we would pause to get an update as to where we are and where we're going from here. And we have some wonderful guests that's going to share with us and give us some information that I know will be a blessing. And many of us are moving, but we still have questions, and we're still wondering which way to go and what do we do next, and how safe are we, and what step do we take. And so there's so much yet to go on. So tonight, we want to welcome, of course, Dr. Larry Smith, who is a consultant in laboratory medicine. He was with Memorial Sloan and Kettering Cancer Center there on the East Coast. There almost 30 years, I think, Doc, if I'm getting that correctly. And I think that's right. And then out here to Abbott Labs, a cancer research doctor, and has done so much work all around the world. And we're glad to have him here as a member of Glad Tidings Church, and just a joy always to have his input. And so, Doctor, how are you this evening?
Bishop, thank you very much for the introduction. Doing well.
All right.
Staying safe.
Staying safe. All right. We also have Bonita Mclaren, Director. Bonita Mclaren, Director of Health and Human Services for the County of Marin. Oh my goodness, what a large job that is, and a big job. She was with us here in Alameda County for a while, and then finally down in San Jose, they snatched her away from us and took her down to San Jose to run one of the largest hospitals in that area, Valley Medical, I believe it was, and she was the charge of operations there, and they hated to see you go. I talk to people all the time and say, send her back. I said, I don't know if Marin is going to do that, but she's a wonderful member of Glad Tidings. We're glad to have her with us tonight as well. We have with us the Reverend Wade Harper is with us as well. Reverend Harper is an outstanding young man, and we're so glad to have him with us here at Glad Tidings. His father and I were the best of friends many years ago, but Wade went on to become lieutenant in the police department, served in a couple of different cities, and then went on to Antioch to become the mayor of the city of Antioch and served there. And we're delighted now that he is the director of our community development here at Glad Tidings. And we're glad to have him. He's been really driving force for us in terms of our COVID response and vaccination. We'll hear from him in just a little while. And then, of course, we are so thankful to have one, and I know there's some others that'll be on here shortly that are trying to get in there. Michelle Gaskill-Haynes, Senior Vice President of Hospital and Health Plan Operations at Kaiser. And Kaiser has been our partner. We've been Kaiser's partner in this effort, and we're glad to join in with them. And we just couldn't be happier to have this wonderful young lady with us today. We have some real tie-ins, some real connections, even back to Chicago. And of course, in Oakland with her husband and all, he and I are the best of friends. And it's just a joy to have her with us tonight. And she'll introduce our other guests. We're working, trying to get them on. And she'll introduce them as we come. All right. Well, may the Lord bless all of you. We're going to start off with Glad Tidings. We'll start at home, and then we'll spread abroad. And so I want to start there, first of all. And so let me start with Sister Bonita Mclaren and ask Sister Mclaren, where are we? That's the big question. Where are we now? Where's Marin County, and where are we in this whole situation? Should I just say I'm not going to put my mask on no more? Nobody going to tell me what to do, and I'm going to just go wild. Or maybe I should do it a little differently. Talk to me. God bless you.
Well, thank you, Bishop. I'm happy to be here with you tonight. I'll just give a little bit of overview. Here in California, as you know, our governor has done a really strong job of promoting the vaccine, and we're doing really well in terms of
head is shaking on the camera.
Keeping our state safe and healthy. We have to date, I'm looking at the website right now, we've administered 38 million vaccines throughout the state of California. That's first and second doses. And we continue to provide we continue to provide COVID testing. There's been over 65 million COVID tests provided throughout the state. To date, we've had over 3 million cases of COVID in the state, but our numbers are down. Today, there are only 423 cases. And I think that's one of the record lows. I know in Marin, we are really excited because we have vaccinated almost 70% of our residents, and we're the highest vaccinated county in the state of California and the highest vaccinated county in the country. And we actually think we're the highest vaccinated county in the world. And so this really is a testament to our commitment. As I know, Alameda County is also committed to equity and making sure our most vulnerable and underserved communities have access to the vaccine at the early part of the readiness of the vaccine. As you know, the governor has stated that as of June the 15th, that he'll be lifting all the restrictions, and most counties are preparing to do the same. I know in Marin County, we are already planning to lift all of our health officer orders, or most of our health officer orders prior to June 15th, and definitely no later than June 15th. As of June 15th, that means that if you're vaccinated, that's if you're vaccinated, you can go to many places outdoors and indoors without a mask. Now, I want to make sure that everyone knows, though, that businesses have the right to decide if they want people to come into their facility masked or not. And so it's just like wearing some places say no shirts, no shoes, no service. That'll also be the case on June 15th, that a business can say no mask, no service. And I think one of my biggest asks of our communities is that we create an environment where people will, if you're unvaccinated, you will continue to wear a mask. And if you're uncomfortable, you continue to wear a mask, and that other people will support that decision to do so. But I think the good news is we are moving to less restriction June 15th, and it's going to be a time for us to be careful, but also to be happy about moving away from COVID restrictions.
Wow, what a great report. Thank you. What insight coming from the Director of Health there for Marin County. And congratulations to you as the director of that. I know you will give the credit to everybody else, but I got to give you some kudos as the director there to bring that to fruition, to work with all of those that are there, pulling everybody together. 70% is boy, that's just unbelievable number compared to the rest of the country and even the Bay Area. And so, Sister Bonita, we salute you. We take our hat off, clap our hands for you, and thank God for you and a great team in Marin County that's doing such a great job. And I pray that we can all follow in that pathway. 70% is a wonderful, that's a wonderful accomplishment. And thank you for the insight that you've given us. We're going to move on now. We're going to keep moving, and let's go over to before we talk about where we are in our response to all of this. Let's go to Dr. Smith and Dr. Larry Smith, our member here. Dr. Smith, I know I've introduced you, but I want you to know we appreciate all that you do and all the insight that you bring to us and inside information. We get so much information from, and we thank God for you. And so this evening, Dr. Smith, tell us from your perspective kind of where we are with this whole COVID-19 and as we are also moving with the vaccination and kind of where we are. From your perspective, give us some insight.
Just to add a little bit to what Sister Mclaren said concerning the numbers, I have some statistics for vaccinations within the United States, and it turns out that about 49% of individuals in the whole United States have received at least one dose of the vaccine, and about 40% of the whole United States has received 2 doses and are fully vaccinated. So we are getting there. We have some more time to get some more people vaccinated. We just have to keep the interest in vaccination up and keep on administering these vaccines. The vaccines have been shown to be very safe and effective, and I think when we look at the recommendations from the CDC, the recommendations are really very good. They're based on sound scientific facts, because if you look at the increased number of vaccinations, you will see a decrease in hospitalizations, a decrease in severe illnesses that are related to COVID-19, as well as a decrease in death. So there's a direct correlation there. Certainly we can add to that by continuing with masking when we feel uncomfortable, as Sister Bonita said, and we can certainly maintain social distancing where we feel that it's necessary and avoid crowds, just following the recommendations. One other thing I'll say about recommendations from the CDC, these are recommendations that are given based on scientific knowledge, but they're given in order to help people make an informed decision. Ultimately, you will have to decide if you feel comfortable or uncomfortable when it comes to wearing a mask when you are around other people. So these are recommendations, but they're very good recommendations. And I applaud the CDC for loosening some of these restrictions.
Thank you very much. Doctor, let me ask you a rough question here. The other day, there seemed to have been a little bump in the road with the Johnson & Johnson vaccination that they were using, and we kind of ran into a little bump in the road. Can you kind of tell us what happened there? Is Johnson & Johnson safe for, as you know? Should we have any reason to not go down that path? They had a one-shot situation where you could do it once and not have to go back compared to the other 2, which we had to have both shots. But talk to us if you can, if you have any information about that. I know we're here at Glad Tidings, we didn't use Johnson & Johnson. I'm not sure what they were using at the other churches, but I know that we did not. But I've had people ask me about it, and can you bring us any information?
Sure. I do firmly believe that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is safe. There were a few cases of some thrombosis in a few patients, but the numbers are really, really very small. And according to the CDC, the benefits of the vaccine certainly outweigh the however many people who came down with the thrombosis. We had some of those same bumps when it came to Pfizer and Moderna. So we're just kind of focusing a lot on the Johnson & Johnson, but it's still a great vaccine. It's still safe. If anyone has a real concern about it, they should discuss it with their primary care physician based on whatever their age or their sex or whatever any particular comorbidities that they may have. But it's a safe vaccine, and one should really take whatever you get, whichever vaccine you can get, you should take it. But Johnson & Johnson is really very special in the sense that it's only one shot and then you're ready to go.
Wow, great. And we'll come back and talk a little bit among all of you. We'll come back and talk about what's going on with the 16 to 18, 12 to 18 situation, and even under now. And so we'll come back and talk about that in just a little bit. I want to go to Reverend Wade Harper here at Glad Tidings, our director of our CDC, just to give us just a brief amount of information, kind of what's happening with us here, what our response has been here in Southern Alameda County and Hayward in particular, South Hayward on the Glad Tidings campus. And we got involved in this months and months ago, Sister Michelle. We got involved in this and began working with Alameda County and CORE. And tell us a little bit about how that's going and what our success rate has been, and also about the vaccinations that we've been able to do as a spot here in South Hayward for this county. Brother Harper, come right on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bishop. We have been excited to partner with CORE. And since CORE's community organized relief effort, and it was founded by the actor Sean Penn, and we have provided COVID testing since September to over 36,000 people. And it has been very effective. We operate Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. rather. And so if people want to get tested, perhaps if you have a wedding to go to, or you want to get on an airplane or have a family reunion, and they can be certain that you are COVID free, and the results are returned within just about 2 or 3 days, which is wonderful. I know people are coming in and say, I want to be tested. I'm going on a flight, and we are able to help them with that. So since September of 2020, right at our South Campus, we have tested over 36,000 people with the assistance of CORE and also our partners with the county. And now, as far as vaccinations, when we were allowed to also do vaccinations, we use the Pfizer vaccine. We have had about 5 or 6 pop-up events, and vaccinations are kind of slowing down now. I think most of the people who want to be vaccinated, they are vaccinated. And I think we're mostly dealing with people that are hesitant for whatever reason. And our partnership with Kaiser Permanente is helping us to reach out to those people who are hesitant for whatever reason. So, I mean, there's plenty of examples of people who have come in to get vaccinated. There's a senior citizen who's about 80 years old. He was having trouble with the VA hospital. They canceled him a couple times. He even went down there to be tested, and they turned him away. He showed up at Glad Tidings. We went right to the parking lot to his vehicle. He was a disabled veteran. Went right to his vehicle and vaccinated him and everyone in the vehicle, which and he was so excited. And so we're still partnering with Cal OES, with FEMA, with County Public Health, and also La Familia Counseling, who is helping us with the vaccination. So it's been successful.
Thank you very much. And I will just weigh in to say on the days that we started the vaccination, I can't tell you the excitement and the peace of mind that people were expressing as I walked through those lines just to speak to people, that they were just like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Trusted partners mean a lot. And they viewed this campus and this ministry, and as they came here, as a trusted partner, and people just felt a sense of relief that they could come here and move in that direction. And so I want to thank all of your staff, all of the GT staff that manned those, that were there for those occasions. Thank you all so very much. And we're certainly reaching out to everybody, because we have no one that we want to leave behind. Well, Glad Tidings, hang on, everybody stay online there. We're going to go now to to Kaiser Permanente. Of course, we have a real connection with Kaiser because the former CEO before his passing was a member of this church for about 15 years as a very faithful deacon of this church. And you just need to know he kept Kaiser at the forefront. He wanted us to always know about Kaiser, what was going on. And I think he'd be happy to know that we're still working with Kaiser, and they're taking on a big role to not only minister to their patients and their those that are in their hospital plan, but they're reaching out to everybody. And I cannot thank them enough. That's a big heart for Kaiser, and it means so much to us here in Northern California in particular. So tonight we are delighted to have Miss Michelle Gaskill-Haynes with us, and as senior operations there at Kaiser. So please, Ms. Haynes, please come and talk to us a little bit about what Kaiser's doing, about your operation there, what your plans are, what we can do to help together, and how you can help us. We need to hear from you and hear from Kaiser, a real partner here in Northern California. Please.
Thank you so much, Bishop Macklin. And you were talking about trusted partners and talking about our relationship through the legacy of Bernard. I also want to say I have tremendous admiration for you personally, and also for the Glad Tidings Ministries and the impact you've made in Hayward. And Kaiser Permanente is really trying to lean in with trusted partners to help us with the vaccination efforts. Early on, we were all dealing with shortage of the vaccine and really trying to get enough to get out. And the unfortunate fact right now is that we don't have that problem. We actually have the opposite problem. There is vaccination supply, but we are not seeing people lining up to get it. And at Kaiser, we are at about 62% of our membership currently vaccinated. We're proud of that, but we are concerned because what we see is that when we look at the vaccination rates, there is inequity in who's getting vaccinated. There are certain populations, people of color, that are not coming forward to get vaccinated as readily. And also our younger population. Our millennial population is not coming to get vaccinated. And so we are trying, our focus on equity here is a primary focus for Kaiser Permanente. We've built a partnership called Faith and Facts. And it's a partnership with Glad Tidings, also with Allen Temple and Beebe Memorial, the West Fresno Ministerial Alliance, and also the Bay Area Black Nurses Association. And our focus on that is using you as trusted partners and voices in the community to help us get the word out, to dispel myths that are out there about the vaccine, to provide the information, to meet people where they are. We understand there are a multitude of reasons why people may be hesitant, but we want to make sure people have the right information and they have the facts about the vaccines in general, or about the different vaccines. You mentioned Johnson & Johnson. There have been questions about the different efficacy, all of those things. We want to be partners with you to get that information out so we can get from 60 and 70% to getting more of our population vaccinated. I was looking at data as well from the CDC. There was a report that came out that says that of the CDC tracking of race and ethnicity for those that have been vaccinated, 62% have been white, 14% Hispanic, 9% Black, 6% Asian, and 1% American Indian or Alaskan Native. That's concerning. When we think about, and this was mentioned earlier, when we think about the impact that COVID has had, disproportionate impact on people of color, it's the reason why we have to sound the horn, we have to provide the education, and we have to encourage folks to get the vaccine.
Michelle, hold on just a moment before you go any further. Surely that has to be a mistake there. Can you repeat those numbers again? You were giving the percentage of people who's been vaccinated, and I didn't hear. Did you miss on African Americans saying that we have been? What are we up to? 50%? Is that no? Help me out here.
Yeah, it's quite concerning. So this is a report from CDC that just came out in the last couple of days, and it's capturing the data of those that have been vaccinated and reported to CDC. So one thing is that not 100% of those vaccinated have yet been collected, but of the data that they have assembled, nearly 2/3 were white, so 62%, 14% Hispanic, 9% African American, 6 Asian, etc. So
Oh my
the
goodness.
overwhelming majority of those are not people of color that have been vaccinated. This is why we've got to get the word out there, because the people of color are the ones that have suffered most from the disparities, the illness, longer hospitalizations, etc.
Wow, 9% of African Americans. You know, I guess, Michelle, I need to ask the pastor at BB Memorial as well what the response is, but in our church, when people come here on Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, we're very limited and all, but when I say, how many have been vaccinated? Man, I mean, it's like 80% of the congregation, Brother Wade, would you agree with that? Yeah, almost every hand goes up. So I'm trying to make those connections. And so thank you for that information. We have a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of work to do. We can't let this go like that. And we will not let it go like that. That means those of us that's been vaccinated, we got to help everybody else. It's not good enough just for us. We're going to have to reach and touch everybody around us. Please carry on, Michelle. I'm sorry.
No, that was my key point, and I 100% agree with you. We're opening at BB Memorial. Our first day will be this Sunday, where we'll come back live, and we are only coming back with those that have been vaccinated. And to your point, many of those that are showing up have been vaccinated, but we've got to get out into the communities. We've got to get further out into those areas that don't have as much access. And so I really want to applaud the efforts that have happened at Glad Tidings to have the vaccination stations and the pop-ups there on your campus. We've got to do more of that, and we've got to get out and not just expect people to come to Kaiser Permanente facilities. We need to get out there in the community, and that's the purpose of the Faith and Facts partnership, is to give the information, but also our goal is to start setting up more pop-ups as well.
Wow. You have some special guests with you tonight from Kaiser, and we'd love to hear from them. So please introduce them. I don't know if you can see who's on or not.
I want to check to see if Dr. Ian Macklin is on. I know there was a little difficulty getting him on this.
I think I see
great.
him.
All right, thank you so much for the invitation. Okay. And thank you for the amazing work that you all have done. This has really been incredibly important work, just given how the disparities have greatly affected our community. My uncle was a bishop of the Church of God in Christ in Southern California. So this connection of me being a physician and sort of connecting with this community has been really valuable.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I got to ask now, who was your uncle?
Bishop Macklin, who passed away not too long ago.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
All right, go right ahead.
Yeah, but again, you know, it's just been really encouraging to see how African Americans have played such an important role in COVID and in protecting the community. So as I kind of see again, you know, in this opportunity that everyone has made such a huge impact, that so much of our community has been vaccinated and so much more. Still, we need to get the message out to really bring our arms around them so that we can protect each other. Because the sad truth is that the most likely people we will infect with COVID if we get sick are our family and our loved ones and our friends. Mm. So this is such a beautiful moment. I've really appreciated speaking with your congregation and with you and with the other congregations in this area, because it's such important work that you're doing. So thank you.
We're going to come back to you, Doctor. So just hold on for one moment. I just want to make sure that we get all of those who are online watching and sharing with us tonight. I need to get your involvement, and here's what I want you to do. You've already heard the stats of how few of people of color are taking advantage of this. So everybody else is going forward, and we, of course, are being left behind here. Here's what I want everybody to do. If you're on this line right now, I'm going to make an assumption that you want to see everybody vaccinated. You want to see everybody be able to live. Now, what I need you to do is to work with us. We're working hard, but I want everybody on this line to go to the chat box right there and give me an idea of what we can do to reach those who have not been vaccinated. All right? And I'm going to hold everybody responsible, and I want you to start putting that information in the chat box, and it ought to just start lighting up. Give me your best idea. If you have 2 ideas, what do we need to do to reach everybody else in this process? We cannot leave people behind. It's not enough just to have our churches that are up. We've got to get everybody in this community. And I want those of you that are online to put it right in there right now. and do that. And then we'll make in a few minutes, we'll allow you to even put some questions in. But right now, that's what I'd like you to do. All right, go right to that chat box, put in there, Pastor, Bishop, Doctor, here's an idea. Why don't you try this? What about this? What about that? If it's about young people, tell me why your teens don't want to get vaccinated. Tell me what we can do to reach them. Tell me what we have to do. Give me an idea. Everybody plays a part tonight. Nobody gets to be online tonight, and you're not going to help me. Help me out. All right, I want to know what we need to do, and we'll go from there. Let me ask a question now to all of you that are on the line, and you can take turns answering this. What's happening with this? They've now lowered the age down, and it was 12 to 18, and now I understand now it may even be lower than that. Tell me about vaccinating young people. I don't know what age it is, but if those of you that have any knowledge about this, will you talk to us?
Bishop, I can say that, we are vaccinating age 12 and older now. The vaccine is not yet available to those under 12. It could be available later this summer or fall, but right now it is age 12 and older. Age 12 and older.
12 and older in your county?
Yes.
All right. Have you had any problems with it?
We haven't had any problems in our county, but there are some reports. I think Dr. Smith mentioned before, there were a couple of cases of reported, some reports, but as he mentioned, the small number of cases that we've seen with young people, we don't know if they're directly related to the vaccine or other things. And the idea that we can keep as many of our communities safe is really, really critical. And I want to remind everyone that the governor is offering some incentives for people to get the vaccine. And I really encourage folks to really do it, get the vaccine, because it is going to allow us to have more activities with our families. It's going to make us feel more safe and more comfortable around our seniors, and make us be able to, go back to some normalcy as the summer progresses. So the other reason to get the vaccine is to keep your family safe and to keep your loved ones safe from COVID, as we know is a really terrible disease.
All right. Anybody else have information on vaccinating of our teenagers, our younger population? Are you having any success or anything we can learn from that?
I would just add to what Sister McLaren has said. I believe that as more and more data comes in, more and more younger adults will get vaccinated as summer camps begin to open, as colleges, universities, and schools begin to start up for the fall semester. I think we'll see more and more vaccinations taking place. In addition, as more data comes in from the adult populations, that will just add further fuel to a full approval from the FDA for Moderna, as well as for Pfizer and even Johnson & Johnson. And as you know, Moderna today applied for full FDA approval for all age groups with their vaccine. So I think we're getting there. It's just going to take a little bit longer before we get the rest of the kids in, but that's going to happen.
Let me ask Kaiser, what kind of pushback do you hear? And Doctor, and to Michelle, of course, our operator, Senior Vice President, what kind of pushback are you getting as to why people have not or will not or participate in being vaccinated? What are you all hearing at your level?
Dr. McLaughlin, you want to start?
You got to turn that mic on, Doc. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I got you now.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, there are real concerns that I hear. In the emergency department where I work, I take care of a lot of people who are concerned about side effects. There is an understanding of side effects, and then there's the fear of side effects. And it is a little bit different. Luckily, the studies have been incredibly well done. And what we learned in the real world has even outperformed what we learned in the studies. So it's difficult to really sort of address, well, it's easy to address the concerns, but it's hard to kind of address the fear because the reality is that these vaccines have been outstandingly safe.
Wow. Michelle, any insight?
Yeah, I would echo that. You know, early on, there was a lot of misinformation about whether the virus had live COVID and all kinds of misinformation. And so I think that there have been a lot of campaigns to get the real information out there. But as Dr. McLaughlin said, we have to meet people where they are. We really have to understand their concerns. There's a whole segment of folks that don't get the flu vaccine or any other vaccine. And so, you know, they have a whole mentality against, you know, that vaccinations are not natural. And so for those folks, we've got to talk through that with them. And we've got to really talk about the consequences. And Bonita said this well, you know, if we want to get back to a place where we have some normalcy, where we can be around our elders in our population, those are incentives to do it, even if you folks have a predisposition against vaccination in general.
Thank you very much. Let me just say, if you have a question, Elder Williams, are you able to monitor this for us? Yes, sir. All right. If you have a question, we'll try to get to 2 or 3 of them, or maybe 4 if time permits. We just have a few minutes. But if you have a question you'd like to ask, put it into the chat right now. And we may even have a chance to review some of those ideas that you've come up with, because I'm certainly going to forward all those wonderful ideas to Kaiser and to our other health providers. We need help here. This is a team effort. No one person has all the answers of what to do here. And so we need everybody's help. Your idea may be just the one that saves your family and their friends. And so please reach out to us in that level. If you have a question, put it in the chat right now, and we'll try to answer those here in just a moment. As we're moving in that, we're going to answer those questions. Let me just ask one right now. What about these booster shots that we're hearing about? And are those going to be necessary, or we don't know yet? Or do we have any idea how long our vaccinations are going to last?
Hey, I think you go.
So at this moment, it is not known how long we will have protection from the vaccine. However, preliminary studies continue to be promising. So at this point, it looks like vaccine will last for at least a year. And there is good protection against the variants for which we would require the booster. So given the studies began back in September, we're reaching that point now, and it continues to look optimistic.
Good. Dr. Smith.
I would just add to that also, I read today where the protection would last for about a year in some cases as well. So I think the data is still out, but it's coming in, and I think it's going to look promising. But I would encourage anyone that if a booster is ever required, that everyone get the booster regardless.
Wow, that's great. That's great. All right, Elder Williams, do I have any questions?
One question.
Here I have a question. I'll take it right away, and that is?
What's the effectiveness of face shields versus masks?
Good question. Good question. What is the effectiveness of face shields versus masks? Anybody can answer it. Of course, if Marion Depew Harris was here, she'd have an answer for you right away. But she's.
I have her answer. The face shields actually don't provide a lot of protection because the spittle and everything else comes down under the face shield, and it just spreads right out underneath. And if anyone is sitting in close proximity to someone with the face shield, that's not very good. If you have a mask on that really covers the face, the nose, the mouth, and the sides of the face, it can keep any spittle from coming outside. So the face mask is far more protective than the face shield.
Wow, great information. Anybody else have insight on that? Wow, that's great. I know when I've just now switched over to a different face mask because the ones I was using was too small or my head was too large, one or the other. And it kept popping off my ears. And so I've got a new one now, since Michelle, where I can adjust the back of it and it covers more of my face. And I'm thankful for that and grateful for that information. And so if somebody is wearing a face shield, you want to stay away from, you don't want to get too close to them because it's kind of like they're operating without anything. Is that what I'm hearing you say? All right.
Yeah, that's what you're hearing me say. Plus, let me just add that if you have people on the stage with a face shield, and you have the mothers of the church sitting toward the front, then that air just goes right out toward the mothers right down there that are sitting close to the stage. So you just want to be aware of that.
All right. I mean, we got to move everybody back a couple pews back. Yeah. All right. I got it. We have another question, Brother Williams.
Yes, sir. This question says, why hasn't the vaccine been officially approved by the FDA? I believe the approval by the FDA versus the EUA will increase vaccination rate.
Wow. Elder William, come on up here. It's okay. Praise the name of the Lord. Let me have him say that again because I don't want to miss it. What a great question. Go right ahead.
Why hasn't the vaccine been officially approved by the FDA? I believe the approval by the FDA versus the EUA will increase vaccination rate.
Wow. Well, that's a deep one. I don't know who wants to handle that, but go right ahead.
Have no fear. The approval is coming. It just requires more data. So since the vaccines have been out for a much longer time now, more data is going in. And if you'll remember, I said that Moderna has already applied for full FDA approval. So that is coming. It's just right around the corner.
All right. Anybody else have insight in that?
Yeah, I would just add one point of clarification. The EUA came from the FDA, so that's important that people know that the FDA authorized the EUA. So it's the same body.
Michelle Hames, somebody please give the definition of all of these letters. I don't want anybody to get them mixed up with the NBA. So I'm just kidding. Somebody give us the definition.
Yeah, the EUA is emergency use authorization. And so, as Dr. Smith pointed out, to move with speed and to get the vaccine out there, the EUA was the fastest method of approval, and then the full method is coming. But both are from the FDA, just to clarify that point.
Okay. All right. I hope that clarified a few things. All right, great. We're going to be off air here just shortly, so everybody hang on. I'd like to hear some of these ideas that came in, and I don't want people to think I'm taking them for granted. So if we have a few of those, Elder Williams, who's helping us tonight, come on and tell us a few of those ideas.
One of the ideas is offer a health fair including diabetes, cholesterol, and high blood pressure screenings. Along with that, you provide the vaccination.
Wow. Make it more inclusive.
Yes.
Good idea. That's a wonderful idea. Did I think of that? No, I didn't. Okay, go ahead.
One more for youth, offer them a Dave & Buster gift card or day pass to Great America theme park.
Wow. Miss Michelle, I think somebody mentioned that, I don't know who it was, that now I guess some of the states are offering and counties are offering some real incentives. Looked like I saw somebody walking around with $1 million, waving $1 million. So anybody have information on that? Somebody give me the information. Tell us where to sign up.
Yeah, I can talk to that, Bishop. The governor of California has started a new incentive program. If you get the vaccine, if you get 2 vaccines, you have to get either Johnson 1 shot or 2 doses of Pfizer or Moderna. You will be entered into a contest to possibly win $1 million. He's put $15 million in a pot, and he's going to give several $1 million awards to everybody is eligible. If you got a vaccine shot, you're automatically entered. So you'll get entered upon your first shot, and you're eligible to get the money if you get both shots. And so don't miss your shot at getting $1 million from the governor of California. He's going to give out several $1 million. He's also giving out there's smaller, also other incentives that are available for people who are getting the vaccine now. And several counties, including Marin, are giving out additional incentives for people to get the vaccine, gift cards, etc. So wow. I should have said, I want to say that really quickly that Marin, we have 70% of people who have had both shots, and you have to be both shots of Pfizer or Moderna to be fully vaccinated. We have 87% of our population who's had at least one shot. 87% have it one shot, but you're not fully vaccinated until you have both shots of Pfizer and Moderna. So, and 2 weeks after you get that second shot. So please get your vaccine. Keep everybody safe.
Now, I want to make sure I get this right before we go off. That means I'm already entered into this already?
Yes, you're already eligible, and I already told my boss that I'm quitting if I win. So
wonderful. Well, I want to tell Glad Tidings I'm not leaving if I win. I was going to ask that. Is it just for the new folk, or is it for all of us already? So we're already entered. Dr. Smith, either one of us, Dr. Smith, will be able to make a great investment in our new building. So thank God for that. All right, we'll get this done. It won't take long at all. Praise the name of the Lord. Thank you so very, very much. We have one more idea, and I got to get off.
All right, one more idea. The last one here is host pop-up vaccination clinics on Sundays at colleges, middle, and high schools.
Wow, good idea. Good idea. I want to say to Kaiser, thank you so much. We'll send you all of these ideas. Please keep sending the ideas in. If you're on the line, if you want to put 4 or 5 of them in there, just keep putting them in the chat. We'll keep that open even up to another half hour or so, 40 minutes. We'll just keep it open. You just keep sending them. And of course, you can always send them to info@gti.church, info@gti.church. Send those. We need those. Put them in the chat right now. I'd love to see us have 50 ideas that we can give to Kaiser and say, hey, here's 50 new ideas. And they can do what they like. But you never know. It doesn't take but one to turn the tide and make a difference. And I think that can happen. I want to thank the wonderful doctor that's been with us. Doctor, where do you work at? Which hospital? Dr. McLaughlin, which hospital?
I'm at Kaiser San Francisco.
San Francisco. All right, great. Michelle, a closing word, Ms. Haynes?
I just want to thank you so much for this partnership. I do believe it's going to make a difference. Our ears were open as you were giving the ideas, any and all ideas on how we can reach certain populations. We want to hear them. So thank you again, Bishop Macklin, for this very important partnership.
Thank you, and thank you for reaching out to my friends down in Fresno, where I used to live 57 years ago, and for a few years. And thank you for reaching out to the Ministerial Association there. I've been to them and spoke there many times. And thank you. Those are my friends, brothers and sisters there in Fresno area. So thank you so much for reaching out. And I believe that they're going to rise to the task. I'm looking forward to hearing good reports. Dr. Smith, anything else before we sign off? So you got your mic on. You got your mic off, Doc.
I would just encourage everyone to get vaccinated as soon as possible, and then they don't have to worry about someone sitting next to them who's not vaccinated. They won't have to worry about showing proof of a negative test in order to go to a sporting event or something like that. Just get vaccinated. Protect yourself. Be selfish.
Brother Harper, anything?
Just to say, we're going to be working to get our youth vaccinated, so stay tuned for that. Great. Listen, we need to look into maybe some incentives here at Glad Tidings and in South Hayward, and let's see what we can do to incentivize some of our younger people. And I'd like to do that. I think that'd be great. All right. I can't give them $1 million, but you know what? They'll be glad for my incentive, whatever it might be. I like that. I like the idea. Yes, Miss McLaren, you've got to, boy, you started about 87%. Who in the world heard those kind of numbers before? Whoa.
You're not fully vaccinated until you have 2 doses, so we don't count them as much, but we are proud. And again, we're moving forward, and we want to help all communities to be safe and healthy. And thank you, Bishop, for the chance to come on tonight and able to get the vaccination.
God bless. Now say as we go off, it's everybody's responsibility, not just you, Uncle Joe, and no more. This is everybody. We have to reach out to our family, our friends. If you have teenagers, not only talk to your kids, but talk to all the kids that they talk to, hang with. We've got to get everybody vaccinated. And ministers, if you happen to be listening, whatever church you're pastoring, if you're on staff at that church, involve your church. Let this become a part of your mission and then develop your strategy. We have a vision to see it come to pass, and I know that's what's going to happen. And thank God for partners like Kaiser and others. We just have to work together. We have to do this, and we're going to keep pushing to get it done. Thank you, Alan Temple. But so many other churches, there's 100 and some churches that are working in this sphere, that are working hard to do this. And I want to salute every one of those pastors, all of those leaders who are making it possible. God bless you tonight. Let me say to all that's been online tonight, please share in giving tonight. You can go to our site, of course. You can give through Givelify on Glad Tidings site, that Givelify. You can go to PayPal on our website as well, and you can give by Cash App. Would you do that to support ministry here at Glad Tidings? I hope you will. I know you will. And make sure we do our midweek offering. We've got to keep this going forward. We've got to keep this message going out. And I believe that all of us, everybody on this line, we need to embrace the fact and accept the fact that the Lord wants to see us whole in every way of our life, in every part of our life. He does. God bless your hearts. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. Let's continue to move this agenda forward. Let's do it together. God bless all of you. Good night, and God bless you.
God bless, guys. Take care. All right.